Hi Tea Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are reading some more Tower of God webtoon, and I'm not stressed at all. Like, why would I be stressed about the fact that we have multiple princesses and Heljo, and then Bomb is here now because he's helped Lady Yuri not be possessed anymore, because we have multiple of the month series weapons, and Urek is here somewhere, and like, what is there to be stressed about? Everything is fine. There's also a giant crater in the ground, which is probably not going to cause any issues. It's fine. I do need someone to tell me not to make Heljo cosplay though. I just feel like I could do it justice. Can do attitude. Yeah, I would also be shocked about the fact that I'm like looking at an actual demonic creature in front of me. Like, I mean, like, I thought the hell part of our name was more of a just fun little extra descriptor. I didn't know it was like an accurate part of how we're describing this creature. Oh good, we're anxious. Awesome. Love when the powerful people in our storyline are anxious about things. That doesn't also make me on edge. Is this the... yeah, I was like, cover the magic cloth? I know not actually magic because that gets us into some issues. Good. Eyes helping us. The comparison to a hangover is the little bit of humor that I need in this situation, actually. Oh, wow. That doesn't also make me stress. Weak beam. Sure. That's fine. That's not concerning at all. Yep. Weak beam. Of course. Why would it be the strong one? Why would it be something we could definitely handle? No questions asked. We were just like bouncing off of everything. Cool. Yeah, no. Love that. Love that we're probably going to have to fight some version of an administrator on a floor that like doesn't follow the normal rules. It's cool. It is giving me some flashbacks though to when we first met Urek, because the whole quest where they were inside of the giant creature, the aquatic creature. I know that doesn't narrow it down in this story because for some reason we keep having adventures inside of giant creatures, but here we are. When we first met him and there was like the flower, right? He was just like taking a nap, hanging out, and he like was just like, and I met this person. I thought, you seem interesting. Was Heljo just like the original Bomb? And we were just like, you know what, I can adopt another one to like my collection of just people that I find interesting. And he made great use. He like read comics. It is, I think, worth noting that for all of my joking around, it's to help me deal with the stress. But I do think it is interesting that we're getting some confirmation of like he was a really good kid at some point, while we are also dealing with a story with Bomb of him being like, I want to become a god, when he was like desperate, and people are like, maybe we don't do that. Maybe we don't wander somewhere where we're like looking for that kind of power. And if you think about someone being given the power of a floor administrator or an administrator of any kind, that is so much power to just like hand to someone and be like, don't be evil, right? So I think that getting a story with someone like Heljo in parallel to already going through some like complicated dynamics internally of who am I? What do I do with all of this power? How do I use it responsibly? Like, how do I not become another like Jihad, right? Like, how do I not become another god in the sense of like lots of other people before me, even with like white, right? Like, how do I not become someone like that when I can see the parallels of my own abilities in those people, right? So I do like that we're getting confirmation of a regular person who lived on this floor, who was given immense power, and what do you do with that when you're just left with that kind of ability? And also like this feeling of being almost like a caged animal, right? Because he can't leave certain parameters of this one floor, right? So how do you manage that when you're just like a normal person? I like that Urek seems to be on the side of he shouldn't have been a dictator though. That's good, at least in terms of not wanting another person to be against us, or like ominously maybe on our side sometimes, for all of us being like, speaking of people where we're like on our side maybe sometimes when we have the same goal. Even like Jinsung, right? Where I'm like, yeah, like he likes Bomb, but that doesn't mean that like he's gonna be on the side of good or necessarily the entire group that we're dealing with, right? It gets complicated. And I like that from like a writer standpoint, right? As a person who enjoys storycraft, I love all of the nuances and the fact that all of these characters have such complicated motivations and dynamics. As a fan of the story, I would love to be less stressed and to be able to trust more. Kuhn's here though, so if anything, I trust him. At the end of the day, I'm on his side. I don't trust that we're getting the side with the eye patch, though. Makes me suspicious. Oh, we're having this conversation right now? So we're asking? Does seem suspicious. It was a good story, though, for the empathy angle. If you want people to feel like justified in helping you. Being like, not only did he kill people who are part of the group that I am part of. He stole their eyes. Like, even me reading that, I was like, oof, is that what the eye thing is? It's a good way to get people to empathize with your case, if nothing else. It seems like a side quest, maybe? Just because there's a dead guy does not mean we know who killed that guy. Also, Endorsi is surprisingly quiet right now, which makes me feel like she's also, like, putting some pieces together. Usually when she's not being chaotic, it's because she's, like, paying attention to what's going on. Yeah, we have not been keeping track of what Heljo has been doing. We're also, like, not going in the direction of Heljo generally. And I know that our whole thing was we're like, oh, we're gonna talk to Desa? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that anywhere near correctly, but look, all the names of the series are from somewhere different language based, and I don't know where we ended up, but we're not like paying attention though. Like, for someone who feels like the rage of wanting revenge, it doesn't feel like we're reacting to the situation. I'm with Kun. I usually am though, without good reason. He just laid out his reasons. I like, he's okay, you want more? I got you. I have more things I'm suspicious about. Good point. Also true. We're not helping Bomb with the fragment either, necessarily. True. And Kun knows a thing or two about what it feels like to actually be angry and sad about someone being killed and wanting revenge. The vibes that I got from Kun all the way back at the beginning of season 2, right, when he was putting his team together before the Rachel of it all, you could feel like the bloodlust coming off of him, of what I'm going to do to Rachel when I finally get my chance. I'm willing to sit and wait, but I'm going to get her, right? We could feel that in the way that, like, he was presented in the story, and we're not getting the same feeling. And obviously is a different person, I think, in the way that he presents himself than, like, Hudden is, right? But, like, I understand where he's coming from, because I know what it's like to be in the mindset of I'm going to get revenge for someone I care about being killed. You're not doing that. That's not what I'm getting from this. Putting the pieces together, I like it. Ooh, the using us, I think, is the part where he's just, I know your game. That was not a denial, and we're getting to see the side, even though her eye is closed. It's not the eye that's blocked, which is like, I feel like thematically, we're doing that for a reason, to communicate of, like, we're seeing more of her actual expression here. I like extremely close to the correct answer of, you're almost right. Okay, so it's like, no, it's true, but also bigger fish to fry. There's more going on. I was gonna say, we don't want him to fight, but we want something from him. The mysterious thing. Weapon? No, it wouldn't be the fragment. We've established that. Ooh. Soul. Time out. We've got more soul related things. Okay. Does that have to do with the Room of Souls? I'm assuming it's maybe connected with all the other stuff going on with that. Okay, yeah, no, the spirit room. Cool. Gotcha. I'm following at least a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna need that if we want people to have their souls back. Okay, so we all want the ladle. And is it connected with Hockney then? If we're talking about trying to find our soul? I'm assuming I have all the pieces. I just have to figure out how they fit together. Okay, so it's all connected to the ladle. Gotcha. Throw another name at me? Okay. Oh, it's you. I think I saw his face. I'm like, no, I remember the penguin. Okay. No, sorry, I'm sitting up straighter now. I'm just like suddenly more alert. Okay. Which we had conversations before, because he took out not Daft Punk when everything went topsy-turvy with the workshop battles. But we also saw him, like, talking to a client, right? Like, him talking to people higher up than him. All right. I am starting to understand. Yes. Okay. Yep. So we find the ladle. We can give it to the merchant. The merchant has the fragment, and then we will have the fragment, which I'm assuming is part of all the other plans that we have with Fook. Gotcha. So we don't want... Okay, so Fook doesn't want the ladle. They want the fragment, but Madorako wants the ladle. But he has the fragment. So if we get the ladle from Desa, we can give it to him, get the fragment. There's also another fragment we have to find, but Bomb wants the fragment. And look, I'm gonna need a board. I'm gonna have to get some string. Ugh, I love it. Okay, as someone who loves world building and stories and complicated magic systems, I'm here for it. Y'all warned me all the way back when I started this series. First few chapters, you're like, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. And part of the reason it was recommended to me is I was like, I love world building. And y'all were like, do we have a series for you? I just can't believe that so much stuff that was set up, like, early on in the season, because season 2 is so long. And I'm like, I'm starting to only see it come together now. And we're like a couple hundred chapters from when that was got set up, and I'm like, y'all had to sit with that information for so long and then just now be like, yeah, now it's important. That's wild to me. Yeah, boy, is there nowhere in the tower that you can just walk into and get something done. If I've learned anything from the sheer number of chapters I read, nowhere is like that. When has that ever happened? Yeah, he went a little rogue, didn't stay with the group. Hang on, you used one of the princesses just as a distraction? She's, yep, You know what? I couldn't do it. I call her Lady Yuri out of respect, out of a deep-rooted fear of doing anything to disrespect that woman, even though she is fictional and therefore cannot hurt me. Meanwhile, dragon fodder needed something to be a good distraction so I could get done when I needed to. There's like 2 birds, 1 stone. Didn't want her around anyway. So either she kills off Heljo or she gets taken out. Either way, win-win. Ugh, I don't want you to be part of it at all, in general. Yeah, you were suspicious as well. I want to like you because you've got that eyeliner, like, really well defined. I feel like the phrasing of that, are you going to spoil the whole plan, is already setting them up to make a certain decision. But, oh, yeah, no, we're like, some of us, I feel like, are going to make different decisions. I feel like this is not going to be a united front. Justified to be like, what are we doing? Yeah, I'm assuming we also would like the ladle. Not scary at all. Yeah, see, that's fine. This isn't going to be an issue at all. The design is cool, though. Like, the whole, like, mask thing. Ugh. Someone tell me not to, okay? I already have a background in making masks, so I'm like, don't make me get my plaster out. We'll never stop if we open up that can of worms. Oh, do we not have an audience? I love how he was having his, like, super villain moment. He's like, where'd y'all go? What happened? Y'all thought, did you think they were just gonna stand there? We've got so much going on. I love how they literally just like dip. They're like, hang on, we're getting drastically different energies here. There's always time for a hug, okay? Oh, maybe not if we're getting kicked out of the way. Okay, we got one princess who's I'll be a distraction, but also we have a mission, right? A trial of sorts. Yes. And also, Bob is very stubborn. For all of his like cinnamon bun vibes, he is very stubborn, sometimes to even my frustration. But he did agree that he was going to do this, and he's probably going to try and keep his word no matter what. Oh yeah, there's also like we have people waiting for us. Ugh, poor Evan, just trying to keep this boat afloat. Evan is the only one who's maybe we stop doing crazy things. Maybe we stop doing crazy things. Just a suggestion. What a shot though. Oh, Mata, my new sweet boy for this moment, because they keep taking my sweet boys from me. Not a good luck. Like every time I'm like, yay, my favorite character. They're like, he's either missing. I refuse to believe anything bad has happened to Rock until my dying day, really. They could show me a body and I'd be like, no, he's fine. He's living his best life. He's hunting turtles. It's fine. And then, of course, a sweet teddy bear, right? I just need my favorite characters to be okay for a little bit. And I feel like I don't have high hopes for Mata, but like, for the sake of right now, he's my sweet boy. Oh, I guess like Kuhn's fine. I don't think you could take him out of, even if you wanted to. I feel like he would come back out of pure spite. You could try and kill him off and he would just haunt you. We do have some magical eyes. Ooh, we want to not all die. That would be bad. That's very nondescript of just the place. Which place? Okay. Still vague, but sure. Something isn't very descriptive. I feel like we're not selling this very well to be like, just trust him. Something will help us if we go to this place. Probably. He can tell the future. Don't worry about it. There's some crazy things that happen in the tower, but I feel like I'd be like, what? Huh? Taking this surprising. Again, a lot of weird stuff happens in the tower. Like any detail, go happy. So we're not taking advice. I feel like at some point we're going to see Urek though, right? Because I have a bone to pick. We have a history. Is that who we're dealing with? Are we having a superhero entrance moment? Oh, you're teaming up now? Yeah, it's complicated. Look at this like Avengers Assemble panel though. Dang. All right. Urek? Is that who we're talking about? I can't remember where he is. He's bouncing through parts of this floor though. I'm assuming because we're cutting to him. So is that who's going to show up and help us? Maybe? I feel like because they have a history that would be like a better avenue than just let's fight him and see what happens. Let's do this. We're teaming up. Hopefully Urek being brought in is a positive outcome. Who knows? It seems like a little bit of a loose cannon, but we'll see. Oh yeah, we also have some connection with Hockney. The eye freak is a lot for you to just throw at him unsolicited, especially given what Heljo looks like. You know what I mean? You're the one with a necklace of eyeballs. I don't know, man. I feel like Lady Yuri isn't good at the whole like runaway thing. Yeah, which is, yeah, probably like I can't beat him, but I can try. See what I mean? Like, again, when has she ever run away from a fight? Like, even when she's like, technically I'd be breaking the rules. If it's not gonna make reality warp around me, it's more of just a suggestion anyway. She's technically already broken the rules in that she's like used both of these, of the like 13-month weapons. Dang. I also love the like lack of detail. She's just like a blur of motion. Like you can't even see her eyes. She's locked into all this. He did the thing where he caught the blade with his hand. She's very casual about the whole I was possessed there for a minute. I feel like watching this back and forth of two ridiculous people who happen to also be super powerful, and we're going to like put Urek into this. You know what I mean? Just continue the kind of a ridiculous dork, but they're very powerful, so we have to take them seriously, despite the fact that they are like this. I guess it's the same with Bomb. He's a sweetie pie darling, except when he isn't. And also, he can probably kill you without, like, really having to try. I know for me anyway, I'm just a squishy mortal. It would not take that much. I could be taken out by too many flights of stairs, you know what I mean? Would not be difficult. But, like, even within World, he, like, accidentally killed one of the people on this floor. And they're like, how did you kill an immortal? And he was like, that was an immortal? I also love that he's just, go back to being possessed. I don't like this one. Look, Lady Yuri is also very powerful in her own way. He did get a scratch in, though. It's impressive. Now we got 2. There's a lot happening. Oh, good. Was that like a bazooka? What's happening right now? There's so much. Because we all teamed up. I'm like, I don't know who's attacking or why, but here we are. I know why, because we're attacking Helljo, but we're throwing just like everything at him from all directions. And he still just seems like mildly put out. Oh, good, good. The one that can see the future is we're doomed. Like I said, he just seems mildly put out. He's give me an actual fight. Give me somebody who actually will be fun to fight. This is not even a challenge. Okay, okay. I feel like maybe we don't resort to possession right away, but at least we know it might be an issue. Which means that he's probably more concerned with Lady Yuri than any of the others. Like, that's the one that might actually affect me. 0 area? I was gonna say, are we like Shinsu 0? Because that seems like a bad place to be if you just suddenly don't have any Shinsu. Also, look, I understand that the line work is to show that there's a lot of motion going on, but I also feel like we were like, and there's some line stuff here. Enough panels back to back. And I also understand that CU time restraints, things going on. I get it. I say this as somebody who used to have to do a lot of like art and stuff, that I'm like, I understand that sometimes you're like copy paste, scribble stuff in, shaded, don't worry about it. But I think if you're gonna do it for anything, it should be the points where it's like there's a bunch of motion happening, so it makes sense to have the lines like working in a certain way to be like lots of pieces are moving, we have lots of people that are like powerful enough that the way that they're moving through the world externally is hard to keep track of. Yeah, we're putting together some details of, oh, this is like fighting an administrator. That seems like more of a difficult thing to do. This punk is protagonist TM. He is the main guy. Oh, yeah, he's also very good at the whole, like, Shinsu manipulation thing. So you're gonna have to try a little bit harder with that one. Also, he's got, like, some other tricks up his sleeve. He's got, like, a few magic systems going on. Oh, yeah, we probably know about that, don't we? Because we've been looking for the Thorn Shard fragment. Look, translations. I don't even know at this point. But, like, he probably recognizes it, is my point. Because we know what that is. As opposed to, like, earlier on in the story where people were like, the what? From the where? I don't know, we're sweating. Does that mean good? Oh, okay, good. That was the plan? It does make sense. Like, not only because, again, Helljo is going to be interested in the Thorn Fragment, but also if anyone might be able to evade being instantly killed, Bomb. Maybe Lady Yuri, as we've acknowledged. But Bomb's probably going to be okay. Probably. Mostly just because he's our protagonist, but, like, also he's super powerful in World. So, cool, cool. Also, he has a chance. We have established that he could kill an immortal. So if anyone has a chance of, like, maybe going up against Helljo, it's probably Bomb. I don't know. It seems like some fate stuff, but could happen. There's just so many plans in the tower that they're like, and we've been working on this for like millennia. And I'm like, for what now? Cool. Gotcha. Also love that this has a little bit of the aquatic, like, fishing imagery to it as well. Staying on theme. Yes, the mysterious something that we could not see far enough into the future to, like, properly know what it is. But I'm assuming it's Urek. Yeah, he's like, I got this. I hope we can leave it to you. I hope that you do got this. Come on, it's just, oh no! Like, this wasn't the plan. Trying to rally the troops. I don't know, we were scrambling when we were panicking because they were like, oh no, they can kill us. I don't know, man. I feel like this is not gonna turn out well for you. Most people who've gotten involved in this who aren't Helljo have had a really bad day. I think Amata's just, I did not fully sign up for this. I was just coming along because Hockney and I was like, friends stick together, power of friendship, and now he's, wait a second. I didn't know I was gonna be fighting like an administrator equivalent or whatever, but I do love that Lady Yuri was like, this is too dangerous for Mom to agree to this. Mom's like, no, leave it to me. And she's like, sure, while I'm continuing to stay with you because I didn't hunt you down for you to get killed off by some guy, okay? With some like demonic creature? No. So you gotta love like the loyalty of nothing else. Oh yeah, also we're a little bit surrounded. It's probably fine. Oofed. He just looks again like mildly put out. by being like caught in the crossfire. The thanks is wild to just be like, thank you for helping us. Oh good, he's mad now. No, that seems fine. That seems like a fine thing, especially considering some of the imagery that we've had of the floor of death before. Yeah, I just like everything about this. Gross. He also seems quite intense. Did we lose our shoes and everything, or did we kick them off? We're like, no time for heels today. I love how they're like, hey, you can't use Shinsu when you're up against Heljo. And she's like, I'll figure it out. There is something about Lady Yuri's just, I don't know. There's like recklessness to it. Yeah. Like I think it fits with some of the like headstrong personality that she has and some of the like fire, like red kind of imagery with her, right? There's something impulsive, but we also know when she has those moments of being very observant and being very like intelligent and strategic about what's going on, right? Like even her being like, this feels like going up against an administrator is her like having a moment of like calmness and analyzing the situation. She just, the personality she puts forward is like headstrong and emotional and like quick to pick a fight, but there is something about her just being like, I'm just gonna figure it out, and her wanting to figure things out, right? Like her being like, we can't fight Heljo because we'll definitely lose, and Lady Yuri just being like, it's more fun if I try though. Like I won't know unless I see what happens. And you can say that there's like a recklessness to that, but I think it's also just her, it's like the adrenaline rush to it in some ways. There's a little bit of adrenaline junkie to her, but I think there's also just this like love of novelty and I don't know, just like interest in things going on. Like the whole reason that she even hunted down Bomb is that she's like, that's new, that's different, I want to figure out what that's about. And I think that is part of why she has the skill set that she does, is that she's just, I don't know, I want to figure it out. I want to see what happens. And luckily she's lived this long, even with the two weapons, right? Like the two like month series weapons. They're like, you can't use both at the same time, you'll go crazy. And she's, we don't know, just because everyone else has gone crazy doesn't mean I'll go crazy. There's like recklessness to that, but also her just being like, I don't know, like the novelty of it I think is what draws her in. And I love that she's just, we'll see. No, that's just like willpower. Ooh, that did not go well for you. That was cool for a full 3 seconds. The like chibi of it too is fun. They also just needed to get him here. So if you're gonna just pick a fight and see what happens, we just have to be here because that's what Hockney saw, and now we just have to wait and hope that this works out. So like, you might as well just distract him, buy some time. I don't like that we're saying, I'll take my time asking you. It feels like that will be an unpleasant experience in which information is extracted from us. You know what I mean? I just feel like it wouldn't be the most pleasant thing if you're like, I'll take my time to find out all of the answers from you. I feel like this is going to be when the grand entrance happens. I'm just like waiting for the moment. Especially since they're like, we don't have a further plan. Our plan was to get here and hope that what Hockney saw was like actually what's gonna happen. They don't even know what's gonna help them, right? Like they're just like, I don't know, something is gonna be there to help us. He's working on it. Ooh, are we literally hiding? I'm like, is that like literally our shoe? Very discreet, very good hiding place. Oh yeah, no, I feel like that, yeah. I suppose we didn't know how the dynamic would be. I mean, there are bigger things going on. Oh, I didn't realize there was a whole story that we're going through. Wow, you couldn't have just said no? I'm sorry, we're worried now that we'll be completely rejected? My guy, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think this being her response is a complete rejection. I think the boat hath sailed on that one. Yeah, I think not being able to, like, being banned is also probably a complete rejection. I wasn't expecting this whole, like, melodrama side plot. Bro, I think it's already over. I think I'm going to limb and say she's not interested. Maybe. I'll forgive. Oof, you're gonna have to live with those words, though. And then you're gonna have a guy who doesn't seem to understand what, like, screw off means. Not that I'm, like, suddenly having flashbacks to previous parts of my life, but I just feel like being able to banish someone from the place that I'm going to be in is would be nice, actually. I mean, it'll work. And I think that he is probably what we need for this, but also like, we don't know what we're agreeing to. The jump, the way that he's just, yes, absolutely. Like I said, dorks that happen to be very powerful. Urek has like all this like cool guy energy. There's all this like talk before we actually met him. And then we met him and I'm like, he was scary and menacing, like the very first time when he was like eyes in the darkness. But the more that we spend time with him, I'm just like, this guy, We've already proven in this series that like the stories that people tell aren't always true, right? From all of the like VLA stories and stuff, we were like, he's not quite that menacing. He can be very scary, but he's not the most imposing when you see him. So I feel that's part of it. He could be like a little bit smoother, just tiny bit. I think it's the desperation. God. Yeah. Even Evan's like, for different reasons, but also just as shocked. See, that's what I mean by the whole, like, I don't think that the taking my time to ask you all these questions is gonna turn out well. I think it'll be a bad time. I think maybe you should start, like, not calling him I freak. I think that might be a good way to... Have you tried friendship? Have you tried being nice? Just a thought. I love how, like, she's, I'll block it. Nothing up to this point in this fight has shown her that would be something she could accomplish. And she's just grit, man. You just gotta want it bad enough. I like how they all just, like, instantly, oh no. Have no fear. Urek is here. It's cool. He's gonna catch them all. Power of love. I can't do this anymore. I didn't need it, though. I feel like I needed the humor of how ridiculous this all is. Like, there's been some heavy stuff going on. We had all the backstory with Bum and who were like his parents, but also it's complicated, right? There's so much stuff that has been going on that has stressed me out and made me sad. No, I am not going to talk about Prince and Ockraptor at this moment, but there's been stuff, and I think I just needed the absolute absurdity of Urek being like, I'm going to defeat you with the power of love. It's fine. It seems to be working out all right for him. For all of my giggling, it seems to have been an all right move on his part. Dang. All right, sometimes the scale gets me. Just gonna use this platform for a second. I don't know, Urek. Maybe the real love story is you and Heljo. I don't know. I feel like maybe you could save him. Power of friendship, romance. Just like not gonna... Oh, I was like, this is where the chapter's gonna end, isn't it? Oof. All right. I feel a little bit like these couple of chapters were in between stories, right? Like we had to get from like point A to point B, right? Like we needed to like literally get from one location to another, but we also needed to set up the fact that we are going to have like Urek and Heljo fight, right? And like a backstory of them and how we got this far. And I kind of love getting like backstories about Urek and like how he interacts with the world. We've had lots of stories, like I was saying, we've had people talking about him, and there's almost this, I don't know, like mysticism like feeling around him of the way that people talk about him. So it feels different for him to tell stories about what he's done and like some of how he's gotten to this point of being involved in this part of the story, but he also does it through this lens of he is this wonderful hero in his mind, like he's a superhero, and it changes the melodrama of how he tells the stories. It's all like a tragic backstory to explain like how he got here, which I think is fun. But again, it's interesting to see a bunch of the backstory and all of these powerful people who are all congregating to this point and can all be in this place because the floor of death like doesn't play by the same rules as everything else, but also getting their stories and personalities and seeing the way that not only having such a big cast that we have all these people that are like very individual from each other, but like they all have their own reasons for being here, their own motivations, their own stories to get to this point, and their own ways of coping with it. And it's interesting in these parts where we're just trying to get the next part of the story set up that we get to see the way that their personalities interact with each other. And because they all have their own stories for how they got here, I think it's interesting to humanize them and see the way that they can relate to each other. For all of me, again, being like, Lady Yuri has so much power and authority, and I call her Lady Yuri's like a bit of a joke, but it's also going into some of the like respect and like power that she has even with like other princesses, right? And we see that with Endorsi, right? Like the way that Endorsi interacts with her, even if they are bickering, there is still this like acknowledgement of how powerful she is, even with like Bam, who has the kind of power that he does. Even with Heljo, I think that like given the power that I saw, she's gonna be one of the issues, right? Like she's the one who could probably hurt me the most or put up the most fight, so I need to like take care of this quickly. So even with all of that, she has such a, I don't know, like a personality I could understand of the competitiveness and the kind of like camp to some of the way that she externally shows herself, but at the same time there's a lot of strategy there. And we get that kind of with Urek too, of like he has this campiness to him, and at first sight I fell in love, and now the power of love is making me feel invincible. Again, the drama of it all. But then when it comes down to it, we also get to see moments in which he is very serious and he assesses the situation, and when it's something he doesn't feel like, oh, I can just easily deal with this. A lot of the times when we see him goofing around is because he's flippant about there not really being any danger, and then when there is, we see him sober up a little bit, right? We see him be a little bit more serious, and it makes me very interested, given that we've had lots of those moments with these characters where we're getting comedic beats, where we're breaking up the tension, what it will be like later in the story, because this is like not the end, right? I'm not near the end of the chapters that we have at the moment. I look forward to seeing the moment in which they are like pushed to the point of having to lock into that seriousness for longer than like a few fleeting moments, right? Like we'll get like a panel here or there where we get to see that seriousness for some of these characters, and I'm excited to see moments where we get some more of that, them being pushed to the point of having to focus in and take something very seriously, right? I think that'll be an interesting it'll be stressful for me because I want everyone to be happy and live happily ever after. I want a good ending. I don't think with a story like this and with the sheer amount of cast that we have that I'm like, I don't think we're all gonna have a happy ending. I don't think that's how it's gonna go, but it'll be interesting to see at what point we see some of these characters that are being played for comedic beats, because yes, they're very powerful, but we haven't quite gotten to the point where like I feel like they're seriously struggling with the obstacles put in the way. Like they're dealing with new obstacles, like things that they haven't dealt with before, but it doesn't feel like they're truly having to like struggle, and that I think that there's a risk of them, I don't know, seriously getting hurt or killed off or something, that it makes me interested to see what will happen when we do get to that point in the story, right? When things escalate to the point where inevitably we're gonna have to deal with some of the like more crazy stuff that is going to come up in the story, right? But I feel like this was mostly just to get us through to the next part, and I'm very interested to see this showdown with Urek and Helja. Maybe it'll all be friendship. Maybe we're just gonna have a heart-to-heart moment and the power of friendship will bring us through. If he's really a Pokemon trainer, I feel like that's how this has to go, but we'll see. But I hope you enjoyed reading that along with me. You can click this place to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so the next time I post a Tower of God video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!